sat flare.
Alright everybody, welcome back. This is the Prophet of Despair. Welcome back to another one of my DCS videos. Today I'll be flying again in my favorite aircraft, the F-16. Today we'll be taking off from its Bahamut David airfield on the Syria map. We're going to be engaging in some more SEAD strikes, and eventually the goal is to hit the runway with some GD-38s, but we'll get there when we get there. So we're already ready to go to take off. We got aligned. We're taxiing down the runway. I'm currently outfitted with 4 HARMs, 4 AGM-88 and we'll get up in the air and get going. So now we're going to increase throttle up to maximum, brakes off, and go down the runway. We're at our speed, so we're going to go ahead and rotate. Get them off the ground here. Gear up, lights off. Good. I'm going to do a couple of things here to really make my entire flight experience a lot easier. Hit the put it in nav mode, do the autopilot, just to make it so I don't have to touch the flight controls while I'm trying to mess with the HARMs later on. That makes it a lot easier than just trying to fly the aircraft, use the weapon systems, track the radar, track the RDA, do all that kind of stuff. So this can let the aircraft fly itself for the most part. And then I'll handle all the rest of it. And Magnum. Magnum away number 2. Watch the HARMs kind of go in there. We'll do a little flyby to show us off. And then we'll see the HARM coming in on its last little leg. It's probably about a mile away from the target now. We're going to end up hitting a cluster, the search radar, and some other associated vehicles and stuff that are right next to it, which I don't know, I thought it was pretty cool that you hit that and take out a bunch of stuff related to the SA2 site. So, got that one taken care of. So now we're going to go in and re-engage another SA2 site that's on that same airfield. And Magnum. And Magnum. So like I said, got the autopilot engaged, and we're going to just let the aircraft fly itself, which again is pretty neat. This is something I didn't know that the F-16 was able to do when I first started playing it. We'll go ahead and watch the HARM missile come in on its final. found out later during this mission that you can't actually turn down the RWR volume because it kept pinging in the background for me. Pretty much the entire time that I was flying, it was going off. The SA-2 has a pretty ridiculous track radius. Doesn't really necessarily fire at you until it's really close, but it can look at you from quite some distance away. Next, we'll turn the RWR up. That's not what I meant to do. I wanted to. But again, it is what it is. One of the problems that I found having the RWR constantly going is to alarm fatigue zone. I used to work in a hospital and have EKG machines going off all the time. So at some point, you start ignoring it. Potentially miss something important. So that's one of the reasons I went. So anyway, it landed. We rearmed, refueled. We're going to go ahead and take off again. And the site just to the north of that airfield that I previously mentioned. A little bit to the right of center line, so it's okay. I've been watching south of my favorite. Altitude. Pretty quick take. Didn't even have the lights on. It's fine. Again, F-16 really is an elegant piece of shit. I really like it. If you guys don't, tell me if you like it or dislike it. It's all good. One of the other great things about this game is just how scenic things are around you as you're flying around, because you're trying to focus on your combat simulation, but then you can't help but look out the window and just think like, wow, here I am 15 to 20,000 feet above the ground, and just how different everything looks from up there. It's just something. Anyway, I wasn't expecting to get pinged by a radar at the site, because I knew that I was a little bit out, so they launch a missile at me. I do a defensive dive. Look out the window. Try to get visual on the missile. So it passes harmless. Turn in and up to defeat the missile. It's harmless underneath us, which is pretty cool. And defeat the other missile. Shot at again, so we'll do another defensive maneuver. Look out the window so we can see where this missile's coming from.
Altitude.
Then I'm going to turn cold so we don't get shot at. Because getting shot at's no fun, really. So at this point, I say screw it. I'm not going to engage that airfield anymore because it's kind of well defended, and I don't want to waste any chaff flares. Go back to the original target. There's a couple of targets that I want to hit with bombs, so that's what I'm going to try to keep looks like it was a destroyed SAM site. But then I find out here in just a moment that the SAM site was not, in fact, destroyed. And the target that I'm actually looking at. That's an interesting little tidbit. I didn't realize that at first until I watched the video later. I'm looking out the window trying to make visual on that missile that as it's coming in. You know, if it's... Because if you could see the trajectory of the missile, you can alter your own. At some point it runs out of fuel, and so it's only kind of going off of the inertia that it has currently. So I'm diving all the way down, trying to get the missile to dive into the water. Getting a couple of warnings there. Bingo warning, and then I'm switching back over to my harms. It's kind of tough to do with the mouse and VR, but get it done. I'm gonna turn in here and lock up that SA2 site. Let's see if I can take it out. Go ahead and lock up that SA2 site. Magnum. And Magnum again. I'm gonna turn cold. Do some defensive maneuvers real quick. That's a weird noise, right? Oh. Missile defeated. Awesome. The unfortunate thing is that there was a second missile.